Freud said that if you study transference and resistance, that's psychoanalysis. And I know I've talked about countertransference in the past, but I think I neglected to talk about transference. And transference really comes down to the first person you meet is your mother, most of the time. And in psychobabble, we call that the object. The primary object is your mother. So when you're born, you sort of don't differentiate between yourself and your mother. And over time, you start to recognize what we call the other, the mother. But what is transference? Transference is that relationship played out in other relationships. Freud first said that it was the relationship with the analyst was transference, that the way the patient related to their therapist, their psychoanalyst, was the same and based on their relationship with their mother. As psychoanalysis has grown and moved from that point of view, as one professor said when I was training, all relationships are transference. If we had 10 people in this room and you and I were hanging out with them and I decided I liked 6 of them and 4 I couldn't really care much about, and you may like 7 and 3 you don't really care about, and they may be different. Why? What is that? What's causing that reaction? Well, that's transference. Feelings that you had for the first primary object in your life and how they play out with everybody else you meet. So that's transference. At the very beginning, we call it narcissistic transference. When a patient comes in initially to meet with their therapist, their psychoanalyst, it's as if they're almost alone, because when you are born and first are in the world, you can't differentiate between yourself and your mother, or your father for that matter. It's just you. Again, in training, they told us when I was first in the clinic being trained that don't be afraid to understand that I'm going to be alone in the room. I'm thinking, what do you mean alone in the room? I'm there, the patient's there, but in many ways the patient is not really aware that you're there, that they see you as part of themselves as at birth. The baby and the mother are seen as one. So that's sort of how it begins. And from that, you slowly move out of the narcissistic transference to an object transference, where you start to recognize the other and start to have a relationship.